Before there were good vibes, there were good vibrations. A feeling generated by the Beach Boys and their melodic, hypnotic odes to waves, cars, and girls. In the 60s, Brian Wilson created the band with his brothers, cousin, and a friend. And like a string of sunny California days, the hits just kept coming.
I wanted to write joyful music that made other people feel good.
So revered were Wilson's skills, Bob Dylan once said he should donate his ear to the Smithsonian. To many, the album Pet Sounds is one of the greatest ever made, punctuated by the masterpiece, God Only Knows.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
Yet beneath the soaring harmonies lay a profound darkness. Songs like In My Room, hinting at Wilson's inner battles.
As soon as I had digested enough fame, I had a nervous breakdown.
He later opened up to Today about his abusive father and struggles with mental health and drugs.
Yeah, it crippled me a little bit to take a lot of drugs, but I have to sleep in the bed I made. You know what I mean?
I guess I just wasn't made for these times.
Wilson's career did have a resurgence. In 2004, he finished his long-awaited opus, Smile. Despite feuds and lawsuits among band members, did reunite with the Beach Boys in 2012. This morning, tributes are pouring in from loved ones and music legends. Dylan posting on X, heard the sad news about Brian and thought about all the years I've been listening to him and admiring his genius. Elton John writing, I grew to love him as a person, and for me, he was the biggest influence on my songwriting ever. Wilson's cousin Mike Love, who now leads the Beach Boys, posted, his musical gifts were unmatched. The melodies he dreamed up, the emotions he poured into every note, Brian changed the course of music forever. John Stamos, who has often joined the group on stage, writing, Brian wasn't just a musical genius, he was a gentle, soulful, funny, complex, beautiful man. His music made me feel things I didn't know how to say. A singular talent whose songs were the soundtrack to an endless summer.
Do you love me? Do you serve good?
And much has been said and written about how much the Beach Boys and the Beatles influenced each other, a rivalry built on respect. Paul McCartney once said, God Only Knows was the greatest song ever written. He's actually reacting to the loss this morning, saying, how we will continue without Brian Wilson, God only knows. Wow. Thank you, Brian.
Well said.
When
Great
Bob Dylan, Elton John, and Paul McCartney are calling you a genius and a legend, you know you did something.
So that's it. That's how you know you left a legacy and left a mark for music that so many people grew up listening to.
I grew up in Southern California. It was a soundtrack for us, obviously the Beach Boys. But what's so interesting about that in your piece that you did such a great job with is pointing out how the music in 1965, Rubber Soul came out from the Beatles, and Brian Wilson heard that. He was the creative force behind the Beach Boys. But man, we got to step it up, boys. We can't just be writing about surfing and songs and girls and California. They went in the studio, they put out Pet Sounds, which Lennon hears, and McCartney, the Fab Five in Liverpool. They're like, boys, we got to step it up.
Yes.
And Lennon actually calls Brian Wilson and says, that's the greatest record ever made. God Only Knows is the best song ever. So they put out Sgt. Pepper's. And so you have this, that Brian is at the center of this pushing of the trajectory of pop music from 65 to 68. And that forever changes the landscape. And you're right. I mean, how many people can say they influenced the Beatles?
You know what's great about that? When Rolling Stone put out its list of greatest albums of all time, Sgt. Pepper's was one, Pet Sounds was two.
Right.
Arguably the two greatest albums in the history of rock and roll.
And it's like music after that all started. That's the foundation right there. Sean Lennon, John's son, put out yesterday, he said that Brian Wilson was our American Mozart.
Mozart.
And I think that's a great thing.
Incredible. Well, we are going to be listening to a lot of Beach Boys this weekend. I suspect a lot of people around the world will be. A great look at his life. Thanks so much, Joe.